Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, and I'm here with my guest, Mike Eshaq. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm still waking up.
Yeah, how'd you sleep last night?
Terrible.
Yeah?
I didn't sleep good last night. I haven't been sleeping good the last couple of days, only because I've been forcing myself to stay up later than I should.
Well, stand up. That's part of the game, right?
No, it's Zelda.
See this.
I got the new Zelda.
That's the thing is I love Zelda, but I do not have the time. Unfortunately, I can't buy it because I don't have the time right now to do it.
You don't have the time to play it.
Yeah, I don't.
I don't either, but I got it, and now I'm making the time. It's cutting into my sleep.
Yeah. No spoilers, but that's very exciting. I love video games, so I like playing that stuff
I love
too.
video games. What type of games do you like the most?
Well, I have a Switch, so I like silly games that I can play short. You know, like I can do Mario Brothers, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart.
Smash Brothers is great, yeah.
But there's also some silly little games that I like to play. Like I like a lot of indie games, like What Became of Edith Finch was like a cool, weird game.
Oh, I didn't play that.
You know, like puzzle games, that kind of shit. You know.
Yeah, the Super Mario Odyssey is amazing.
I'm almost about to actually finish Luigi's Mansion. Is the one I'm finally about to finish.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's fun. It's
Nice.
it's a fun single player. You can kind of play 2-player, but it's
Yeah. I'm right there with you. Usually when I buy games that I can go in and out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like shoot 'em up games where I could do a couple of rounds online.
Yeah.
And then I'm done.
Yeah.
Or my VR, I play some VR games. VR games are very immersive. So like sometimes you can't play for too long.
Yeah.
And you put it down, then I can get back to work.
Yeah.
But then I've been traveling and I was like, you know what? Let me get a Switch for traveling. And most games on the Switch are like adventure games.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're playing a book.
Yeah.
You know, and now I got into Zelda and I'm just like, fuck it. I guess I'll fall asleep at 5 a.m. and try to get up for this podcast.
Well, thanks for being up with us. So you play video games just to I like it to wind down, to just chill or to be social, you know. That's kind of my go-to with video games. But they've designing them now really beautifully. They're basically designing them for when you're high.
Yeah.
There's one I did called The Artful Escape, which is just a indie game, and
Was it on the Switch?
Yeah. It's just an
Artful
indie
Escape?
Yeah, and it is beautiful. It's like you're a musician whose dad was a famous musician, but you want to play a different type of genre, and then you're going you escape through different dimensions, and it's just beautiful colors. It's designed for you to be stoned.
So you're playing like different versions of yourself?
Kind of. You become a different version of yourself. You go to different physical universes, planets, and things, and you're trying
And play
to
different music?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and you're basically just jumping around and playing music, and the music makes colors change, and it's beautiful.
It's, everything about Nintendo, it's like, Mario Brothers was their flagship game that started them off. And what did Mario eat? He ate mushrooms. And he was in the most tripped out fucking world.
Yes.
And it's like, I think everyone at Nintendo's tripping nonstop because a lot of their games are just so creative and trippy, and they're good puzzles and thinkers, Then you go on PlayStation and it's like blood.
I never thought about that. I guess I've just always kind of been more Nintendo. I think I
used to be PS4, PS guy mostly. Yeah.
Yeah, I just like it as an escape. Like I don't like I don't like to see like a bunch of blood and that's like I don't like those kind of shooter games.
Oh,
like,
no.
I'll do like Scott Pilgrim or something like that. Like that's fun and silly.
There's a Scott Pilgrim game?
All right, I'm gonna send you like a game list.
Yeah, send me a game list,
there's
man.
Some great stuff.
Let's fuck up my sleep even more.
Did you always play video games?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, growing up.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I love video games so much. So much. I mean, there's all kinds of fond memories of like having like a bunch of friends together and playing multiplayer or having a LAN party. I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike online, which was like a shooter.
Oh, yeah.
And it's good. And how awesome was this? Like, here in LA, you don't see your friends too much. I got a lot of Detroit friends out here. So it's great. I'm talking about almost close to 20 of them.
Oh, wow. A lot of people move.
They're from like the Second City Detroit days and
Okay.
stuff. And, they're all out here doing their stuff out here. And you barely ever see some of them because we're always so busy. And we get together every once in a while. Then the pandemic hit. And next thing you know, I'm hanging out with my friends, talking to them, while doing a heist on Grand Theft Auto. It was fucking awesome, man. It was so sweet. And it was like the only way I could meet them was I'd have to go virtually. So it was it was very weird, right?
But it kind of brought you together more with people that you weren't physically close to.
I made some other friends too.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
Yeah, so then like me and my friends Sam and Adam, we would like play, and then we'd meet some other guys, and then all of a sudden we're following each other, and then those guys are hitting us up. Hey, when you guys getting on? We got to do this heist, and it's just like it was weird. Weird but cool at the same time. It's like you see your friends, then you can't see your friends, and now every time I see my friends for the next year, they're pixels.
Or you're just doing a heist together. Like, that's kind of fun.
It's fun, yeah. And you get to talk to each other, and it's man.
I haven't
video
played
games are
in
everything.
that level. Like, I've played a little bit online, but not as much in that way. But that's pretty fun.
I don't play online that much either.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, because the one thing that I hated is when you were playing like a game, like a fighting game or something, and then you're getting your ass kicked, and then the voice is sounds like a 3-year-old.
Oh, and they talk shit to you.
And they talk
like
shit to you.
They're like,
And you're like, I'm going to break my fucking TV, bro. I broke 2 TVs in one day once.
What? Why?
Yeah, man. This is why I can't watch sports anymore.
Oh, really? It was a sports thing.
And also playing sports video games. So, for example, how's this? I have good sportsmanship. Mm-hmm. I have excellent sportsmanship. Meaning, in real life, if you beat me, I'm going to be disappointed, but I'm also going to admire what you did, and I'm going to give you your props, right?
But I feel like you are a little competitive, is my guess. Yes, you're very competitive.
I'm competitive, but I'm also very good at letting it go when I lose.
Oh, yeah.
Meaning, if I lose, I don't internalize it and get mad. When I lose, I fucking hate it, right? But then I just go, yo, big ups to who just beat me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's good sportsmanship. You
yeah,
know? Like,
I agree.
And then I can admire what it was that you did that I didn't, right? Mm-hmm. That's a good mindset. When I fucking play sports video games,
no,
I become the biggest piece of shit. Because there's something about losing competitively in a sports game, but it's not real life.
Is it because it's a team?
It's almost like road rage. It's almost equivalent to road rage. Like you're getting mad at the car, but you don't know there's a person in there, right? But then if I'm playing basketball in real life, I'm engaging with the person, and in real life, I'm like, yo, man, that was fucking great because it's a human thing. But man, one time I was playing NBA Live in the Marines, and the kid who beat me is this like Mormon kid who was just button mashing. He didn't even know what the fuck he was doing. And my entire platoon was in my room dying that this kid who has no idea how to play the game is crushing me. And then on top of it, I got the fucking manual for the game. I know all the moves and the cross, and he fucking smoked me. I got so mad. And this is, mind you, I was young. So mad, I took my TV and I threw it off the balcony.
Whoa.
And then when it landed in the courtyard, my next door neighbor was this kid from Texas. He was smoking a cigarette. He goes, "Did you just throw your TV out?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, man." I kicked everyone out of my room.
Oh my God.
I was very funny whenever I got mad, right? So anyways, then my neighbor was like, he's a really cool guy. He's like, "Hey man, I just bought a new TV. Mm-hmm. My old one is in my closet. Just borrow that one. And then, when you get one, just give it back to me." I was like, "Cool." That same day, I plugged that thing in. I played NBA Live. The computer beat me. I start flipping out. I tell the Mormon kid, "Come." Fucking, his name is Schnee. I'm like, "Get the fuck over here. Let's play again." We played again. Everyone in the platoon, even more people came into my room because now they wanted to see the rematch.
Oh, God.
And I'm getting my ass kicked. Everyone starts laughing, so I threw my neighbor's TV off the fucking balcony.
So the same day. So
like within a span of an hour and a half.
See,
So that guy was outside smoking a cigarette, saw me throw my TV off the balcony, gave me his TV, and later he's smoking a cigarette and he watched me throw his TV off the balcony.
He's like, all right, he's having a real bad day.
But he was really nice, man.
That was, so how old were you when you did that?
I was probably 21.
Okay.
22.
All right.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm
like
still a dumb kid. You know?
Everyone's kind of an asshole when they're that age, and you don't realize it. You don't think that when you're that age.
No. Hold on. And then like 12 years after that, I got online. And my friend let me borrow. Now it wasn't my friend. I was using GameFly. Remember GameFly?
Yeah.
And I got another NBA game. I played online, and then this fucking kid with a fucking squeaky voice beat me and just kept calling me the N-word. And like, it's just like, I was so pissed.
That's the thing. I feel like when you got something in your ear and they're egging you on, I think it is really hard to like have like a 9-year-old being like, fuck you, like in their little voice. It's just like we weren't able to do that when we were 9.
It's more like if the kid was with me, like if I was playing in the same room as him, it wouldn't be a problem. I'd probably find it cute that he was beating me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But because he's just some voice on the other end of my TV is going to get a fucking hole in it.
Well, I wonder if that's kind of like what it's like for people that do trolling on the internet too. It's like, hey, because the person isn't a person in front of them, they don't think of that, and then they don't mind like continually trolling and shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. There's no consequences.
Yeah. Versus like if you're in the comedy club, only one out of however drunk the person is going to say something.
No consequences.
Yeah.
That is the key. That's why, like when I play with a person, it's like I can see you, and probably there's things about you that I like about, right? And then in the process of getting my ass kicked in the game, I get to see you shine, and that makes me just go, whoa.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a human experience. But if me and you were playing a basketball video game, and I didn't know who you were, and your dumb voice is coming up the thing, and I'm not saying you're dumb, but you're fucking saying dumb shit to me,
Yeah.
I don't know who you are.
Well, it automatically makes you more combative. I wish that there was a way that instead of like people just being able to say whatever, like instead of like using like foul language, like go and use like Shakespearean insults or something silly like that. Like
Use what?
Shakespearean insults. Like if you ever heard like
Shakespearean insults.
Yeah. Have you ever like
I thought you
like,
just came up with one word. I was like, was that Shakespearean insults?
Shakespearean insults. Sorry.
What do you mean by Shakespearean insults?
Like this is just making me think like back to school. There was a list of like. What you take there are 3 different columns. You took a piece of each different column, and it'd be like canker sword, collie swatter, or something like that, where it's like ridiculous words. These are actually words that he would use in like olden times.
Oh,
it's like if you look at their old, it's like you pus filled, wanker brain or something. Like weird shit where it's not really a curse word now, but it's kind of silly.
It is kind of silly, but it comes off as something mean.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know, but it's definitely not anything that's like homophobic or xenophobic or racist or any of those. I think that's the problem is like these young kids, like 9 or 10 or 12 years old or whatever, are listening to people yell at each other and they're getting this language that's really,
I just hope that some of these kids that are out there doing this know they're trolling.
Oh, like they know that that's not.
Because when I was a kid, man, even when I did shit that didn't make sense, I still knew that it was wrong.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm just worried like these kids are so conditioned saying shit like that we're going to have another generation of like kids that are just going to be people that are just going to be terrible all the time. God. Or maybe that's just their love language.
I don't know. It's interesting because when you go to like the UK, the C word is not a big deal there. The C word does not mean like what it does
like
here.
Australia.
Yeah, Australia, they use the C word left and right, like, and it is not the same connotation as it is here. So I think it is interesting culturally from place to place.
Well, the way words change through time, though.
Yeah.
Like, so if you went to the early 2000s all the way till about 2010, 12, maybe even 15, the F word for gay people, right? Mm-hmm. That word there was said by so many people casually when you wanted to call someone an asshole but take it to the next level. So like in my neighborhood, if I called you that F word, I had nothing to do with gay.
Yeah.
So like in the early 2000s, like rappers would use it.
Well,
and even when they were using it in the thing, they weren't even trying to apply necessarily gay. It's just that word, you know what I think it is? It's kind of like the same thing with the N word. It's got it's got the G. That G?
Or is it the hard R?
It's the G.
Oh.
And the N word, it's the G. I mean,
oh yeah.
And same thing I think with the F word for gay people.
Oh,
It's got
yeah.
and you can like land on it. So then you can like really make your point. And I think in the end, you know, just like the N word, I think gay people have found a way to capture it and say, hey, stop fucking saying that. Even though you don't mean it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is even through just a few span of like 10 years, the meaning of a word can change.
Well, even just 3 years. So you look at what the right has kind of done to the word woke, which woke basically just meant you're aware of other cultures and other things. And what they have done PR-wise. That's the thing, is I think I hate what they're doing, but they're very good at their PR and turning
Who's they?
things. Like kind of like the Republican right-wing party. They take a
The
term.
liberals do the same thing. They're very more. Listen, man. Like, there's a difference between liberal and Democrat, and there's a difference between Republican and conservative.
That's fair.
I think sometimes we use the word Republican to like mean all conservatives, but then you got all flavors of conservatives. It's just like we only have two parties to choose from, so now we're all funneled into this, you know.
And that's annoying. I wish we had more.
Yeah, but you're right about the woke thing. I think it's not only. I don't think it has anything to do with how the Republicans are couching it. I think they're just taking advantage of what's already happening. Yeah. Like politicians, to me, they're not the type of people that make wind. They just put their finger up in the air. And go, which way is the wind blowing? That's where we're headed, and I'm just gonna keep doing that thing until the wind blows in another direction. And then it just sparks all of us to like. So like woke was a thing where when you said it, you were in a positive light saying, yo, this person is enlightened.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, and then I think things have gotten a little crazy.
Yeah.
With that. That's why I have that joke where I'm like, you know, like woke kind of went too far.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I had to use the bathroom the other day. One of the bathrooms said gender neutral, non-binary, non-conforming. And then the other one said black people only. Right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think in some respects, people have taken that woke thing too far. And then we've seen those examples. And then people on the conservative would only show us those woke people. Does that make sense? And then now it's kind of become a trope.
Yeah, it's become complicated, but I think that when it comes to like taking away like funding with certain things, it's like banning books and all this. They're using it as an excuse to do a bunch of other stuff. But that's just it. But what's cool about being able to travel around the country is you find a way, like as a comedian, to talk to everybody, right? Like so that's what's kind of neat about when you travel.
It is, and you get to find out how to censor your joke.
Oh, so you get to do a lot of self-censoring depending on if you're doing stand up in different
censor
areas.
Censor your joke.
Censor your joke.
Meaning like, you know, so for example, you'll do a bit, you'll start it out here in LA. LA is predominantly liberal, right? Then you take that same joke and you go to someplace in Florida, right? And then you watch it eat a bag of dicks. And then you go, oh, okay. And then I've always found ways to make usually it's the setup, and then you calibrate your setup. And if I set it up just a specific way, now it works for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of crazy. And then you get to learn how like different parts of America have different views about how the world should be. And
that's the thing is we're
like a country. We're like a continent, really.
It's so many different.
Each state could be a country.
I know. It's so many people. Where have you traveled for comedy that you've loved the most?
I really enjoy San Diego.
Okay.
San Diego is great. Something about San Diego, they laugh. I like and I hate it because you go there and the people laugh so hard. Every show you do.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Their level of laughter, because they're so happy, is on another level, I'm telling you.
You think it's just they're happier because they're by the beach? Like, what's up? Like,
well, I mean, San Diego, from what I heard, like many times, has been like voted the happiest city in America.
Oh, okay.
You know, and every time I do shows there, it's like, you know what a game shark is?
It's what is that when somebody like pretends like they don't know how to play pool? And then
No, for video games.
Oh, no.
The game shark.
No.
Like back in the day, there was this thing called a game shark. You could buy it, and it would connect to your like Nintendo.
Oh, cheat.
and then it would just unlock all these cheat codes.
Like Game Genie. I think there's another one called Game Genie.
Oh,
Yeah,
maybe it was
something like
Game Genie.
Genie.
But I think there was Game
Genie.
Shark also.
Okay.
Game Genie was another. Yeah, that's
another thing.
That's
right?
a popular one, right? I feel like if stand up was a video game, when you go to San Diego, you just connected the Game Genie. Like it's almost too easy.
Got it. That's awesome. But it's fun to go out there and explore different areas.
Have you done San Diego?
It's been a while. It's been pre-pandemic because I can't drive super long distances by myself, or I put limits on myself, so I can't drive that far. So I had to go down with other people.
How far?
Well, I personally put a limit on myself of about usually not more than an hour and a half, but which technically I guess you could get down there, but just put personal.
You can't get down there in an hour and a
yeah.
half.
Personal limits for myself.
You have to take a helicopter.
Yeah, but that's just for safety. I don't like to, and I could stop and take a nap or something, but I just put personal limits on myself just so that there's no issues with the narcolepsy and stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
can it trigger when you drive?
No, well, there's different things. It just, you get tired if you do something repetitive for a while, and so like stop and go traffic is like really hard. And so I just put personal limits on myself. I've driven a little bit of distance before, but usually I have somebody like on call to talk to.
Have you ever fucked with anyone before? Have you ever sat there like somebody who knows you're narcoleptic, just driving and just go,
oh, no, that I feel,
pretend like you passed out?
No, I don't ever.
And they'd be like, ah! Oh man, I'm glad I don't have that because I would fuck with people all the time.
I think it's also
and
a
then that
weird
would be a
thing
way
is,
for people to want to drive me.
That is fair. Well, to be fair, my partner
Smart,
does do
baby.
most of the driving. But the thing is that I just don't want to ever have someone feel like they're like in danger, So I wouldn't do it if I was driving a car. And I don't really fuck with people that much because I am genuinely like tired, and people like do, my friends and stuff, they see it
Or
coming
you're like
on,
hooking
they'll
up
take
with a
care of
guy
it.
and this guy really sucks, and then you don't know how to tell him, you just snore. Really hurt his feelings.
That would be funny. I've not really. I think I've fallen asleep making out once or twice, but that's about it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This is back when I used to drink a little bit more. So it's a combination of those things, or the person
How do
being
those
bored.
guys react, or girls?
We stopped, and then it stopped, and then like I was like realizing I was too tired, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna either crash out here, or like or you leave, whoever it was.
Would you ever like if you had a Tesla with the self-driving feature, would you go do more shows?
Oh, maybe if it was actually safer than what it is right now. Yeah. I'd like to get one, but I'm thinking probably like 4 years or something. Or just like, sometimes I'll go with friends and stuff, but it's just been like, it's about coordinating that shit.
Yeah.
Because and that's the reason why I didn't do as much. Like I go from Chicago to Milwaukee, which is exactly like an hour and a half, and that's about it.
And Provigil doesn't help?
Well, so I don't take Provigil. That is a drug. It's interesting that you know that drug though. That was
I take it sometimes.
Well, it was a drug that was pushed on me when I was younger by doctors, and it did not work well for me. And then it kept getting pushed. They're like, well, you shouldn't be on the medicine you're on because that's not good for long term. And then one of the doctor in Chicago, she gave me a sample. He's like, here's a sample for a month, and then I'm writing a prescription. And it wasn't her. It was the pharmacist at the time. When I went to fill that, I filled up my birth control, and my pharmacist at Walgreens was like, hey, by the way, these drugs don't interact with each other. Your birth control doesn't work with Provigil. My doctor did not tell me that before giving me the pills. I was living with someone at the time, and I had a pregnancy scare.
But the pharmacist caught it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it was after I'd been taking it for a month because she gave me a month-long sample.
Oh, shit.
Like I had
the pharmacist did?
Yeah. No, the doctor gave me a sample at the office. And then so after that I was like,
what the fuck?
I was like, fuck you, doctor. I switched doctors, and then I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not going to take this drug that's going to mess with that. Like it sucks. Like there are other drugs that are helpful, but I found the good combination, but it's just, it takes a while to figure out what works and what doesn't. But no, I don't fuck with Provigil or Nuvigil because of that situation. It's like that doctor did not inform me, and that's an important thing.
Do you have to stay on birth control?
I like to stay on birth control.
Because I know some girls that take it because it actually has other side effects that are beneficial.
Well, I don't take it because of those side effects. When I first got diagnosed, I was a teenager and still like just starting everything, like hormones and everything. And because of the medicine I kept changing, I was having my period like every 2 weeks. And I didn't want to do that. So that's when I started birth control before I was even sexually active, to regulate and have it be normal. And now I like being on birth control just to have control over it. Like if I want to go on a camping trip, I can adjust like by a week or something. If I don't want to be on that, I like being able to adjust things too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to know your body.
And then like, and I know people do like, I don't like the idea of an IUD, and also the ones that where you can't have yours every month, because I am paranoid about being pregnant. Like I am so.
You don't want to be pregnant.
No. Actually,
Can you get your tubes tied?
no, I froze my eggs. Nah, I don't want to. I'm afraid to do anything because I don't want to fuck up my ability to enjoy sex. Like, I love sex, and if there's any kind of like, if you tie your tubes or something, I don't want that to affect your ability.
You know what? You're speaking my language. That's why I haven't gotten my tubes tied. I didn't get snipped because I'm afraid that either, aside from just maybe there might be a complication, I'm worried that now it's going to fuck up the pleasure of sex. And even though they say, no, that's not the case, I don't want to listen to a doctor. Do you know how many doctors I have to correct?
Yeah.
Like I've had doctors like what you dealt with.
Yeah.
You know, almost every doctor, they always go, this is what you should probably do. And then I find out there's a better solution.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, it's also weird because sometimes doctors don't believe you or believe like you're in the level of pain that you are. And like, I don't know if you found that with different things. Like what kind of stuff, you didn't go for sleep or anything, right? It was other stuff or?
Well, for what?
For doctor stuff. Is it just physical pain? Like,
So for example, my neck, I have a bulging disc in my neck and it's pushing a nerve into a bone spur.
Oof.
So I already have like this tiny little bone spur in my like spine in the neck. So anytime I would sleep, it would pinch that nerve. And then I would have these shooting pains down my arm and it would wake me up and I would not be sleeping good because I used to be a very good sleeper. So I went and got an MRI. The doctor looked at it. He explained to me what it was. And he's like, physical therapy. So I go to physical therapy. The shit's not working that much. Then I hire another doctor, paid him $300 for a consultation. This guy spent almost 2 hours with me. He brought out like a thing of a neck. He showed it what was happening. And then he goes, you know, you probably don't need the procedure I need. He goes, I would try to get and build muscle on your neck because he found out, look how.
Oh, whoa. Okay,
You see what I can do with my finger?
For those of you not on the podcast and not listening to the podcast, not seeing it, Mike has like crazy flexibility in his finger. Like,
it's called hypermobility. So,
like, were you like born to be like a contortionist or something?
I don't know.
Like,
I've always had this where I can like bend my
just your fingers
all the way back. No, I mean I'm pretty much flexible. I can't do any like this is mostly the biggest. Anyways, the point is this. This is why you get a second opinion. I paid $300 for this because this other doctor does a procedure called PRP where they like inject platelet-rich plasma into an area and it accelerates healing. This guy was so honest. He was like, you know what, dude? Once he found out how flexible I am, he goes, I think I know what's going on. He goes, I think when you sleep, your neck is more flexible than other people. And since that bulging disc is there, he goes, your neck is contorting in a way that's too flexible, and it's forcing that nerve to hit. And
so you're like an owl. Your neck is going in different directions.
Right?
Yeah.
Not directions, just it could flex, sideways. So anyways, he goes, why don't you just build muscle in your neck? He goes, I think that's going to help it. If you start building muscle in your neck, it'll be rigid and strong enough. And he was right.
Did it help? Yeah.
He was fucking right.
That's good.
The physical therapist didn't know shit.
Yeah.
It was crazy. They were making me do these workouts. Nothing was changing.
Yeah.
And then this one doctor tells me, build muscle in your neck, and I didn't. And it fucking fixed it.
Yeah. That's great. I'm glad that you found the right thing. Yeah, sometimes you have to go to multiple people. Sometimes you got to just go to the right kind of doctor. It's all weird to have that happen. I do want to ask you something because I remember a few years ago we got into a conversation about quantum immortality.
You remember that?
Yes, I did remember that because
I forgot about that. I forgot that I actually believe that I've actually been through one.
Yeah, because I think that kind of relates a little bit because some people think when you sleep you're going into other dimensions or other versions of yourself. So I did want to ask you about that experience. And I guess quantum immortality is the idea that there are infinite universes where you're currently in, and every choice you make creates like a different tree from it, right?
Yeah, it's either that or so the idea is time is exponential. It's not linear. It's everywhere. So everything that has happened, will happen, has happened, and hasn't happened all at the same time.
Okay.
And there is this idea where every time you make a decision, almost every nuance in your freaking life, everything in the universe starts splitting and making all the other dimensions where you did this choice and then this dimension you did that choice, or you got into a car accident and in this dimension you die, and then in this dimension for some reason you came out without a scratch.
And that specifically relates to your...
So quantum immortality is it's not even something that they can prove, right? But once scientists got past the atomic level and went another level smaller on the quantum level, okay, another is past atoms. We're talking about what's making the atoms.
Yeah.
When they get down to that level, physics doesn't matter anymore. Things don't act the way they're supposed to. They find these little particles down there called quarks.
Yeah.
And these things, even electrons, will be in superposition, meaning it's in multiple places at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Two people, yeah.
So that's what they're observing. They're observing that at the quantum level, these things are doing things that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
They're not acting like everything else in our physical realm.
So once you get small enough, then...
So with this whole idea of superposition, if an electron can be here and also be someplace else at the same time, the idea is that our consciousness also works on the quantum level. Therefore, it's also existing in superposition.
Okay.
So meaning that if I was to go out here and get to a car accident and die, my consciousness also resides in the other option where I live.
So you basically switch consciousness, which is...
And apparently the idea is that you will never experience your own death.
Oh, that's very interesting. But we can't, nobody lives forever. So what, you would just live in the realm where you live the longest?
Well, here's another thing. You ever heard of Schrodinger's cat?
Yeah, where you're not sure whether the cat lives or dies.
It's this thought experiment where a cat is in a box with like nuclear waste.
Yeah.
And it's like is the cat dead or is the cat not dead?
Both can exist
and both are existing at the same time and then there's this other idea where you could make yourself immortal, and that is you would place yourself in front of a machine. This is another thought experiment. The machine is connected to a quantum particle. Okay, the machine has a gun on it, and when the reason why you put a quantum particle in there because it can only spin two ways.
Okay, with the gun or not? Yeah.
No, it only can spin two ways. It's either going to go up or down.
Okay. The
particle itself. So now you're tying the gun to a quantum particle. Okay.
Okay.
And the quantum particle has a 50-50 chance of either one going up or one going down.
Okay.
If it goes up, it shoots you. If it goes down, it makes an audible click.
Okay.
The idea is the person that's sitting in front of the machine will forever hear a click.
Huh.
So the thought experiment is that if you could create that machine and you put somebody in front of it, they will forever hear a click, but the other person that observing is always going to see a person dying, and then it keeps going. And the idea is that the person in front of it will always be shifting to the next universe and will always be hearing a click. The idea of connecting to a quantum particle is that you're limiting the universe's options. Isn't that crazy? Because what I said, that everything you do,
it's like a fatal coin flip. It's like a fatal coin flip almost. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a quantum coin flip.
So when do you believe that the quantum immortality exists? I think you had an experience, right, that made you...
So I was walking on the street at the high school that I was at, we had open campus lunch. So we would leave, then we were coming back. On the way back, everyone in school was sitting out front, waiting for the bell to ring because it's a nice summer day. I crossed the street, and a guy that I know from school named Wael, he had he's a Lebanese kid. He had this Monte Carlo that he just bought, and then I hear him revving it as I'm crossing the street, and he's looking at me jokingly, like he's gonna come after me. So I was just stood in the middle of the street, and I was like, "Get at me, bro!" So he peels out from the stop sign about a block away, and he starts coming at me, maybe at about 25, 35 miles an hour.
It's pretty fast, though.
Pretty fast, especially
Yeah,
if you're
it's pretty
standing
fast if you're
still.
standing still, yeah.
As he started coming up to me, he thought I was going to get out of the way. I thought he's definitely going to hit the brakes. And we were both thinking the wrong thing at the same time. And as soon as he got close enough to me, he started hitting the brakes, but then it was too late. And I started thinking about Marty McFly from Back to the Future when he would, like, Biff was coming after him, and then he would, like, kick the skateboard under the car, and then he ran on the car as the car was fucking, and then get.
Oh, no.
I thought I was gonna fucking do that. That's how dumb I was. I was like 18 years old or whatever, 17, and I had very good jumping ability, and this fucking car came. I started jumping. I thought I was gonna do it. I didn't jump high enough. The fucking front of the car was coming to me.
Ooh.
And then what I did was I had to lift my legs up. For those of you that are not like watching, I had to lift my legs up sort of like a cannonball.
Okay.
I had to, because I was trying to get my feet up over the hood.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And the front of the car clipped my ankle. Okay, check it out.
Yeah.
Flipped me sideways.
Okay.
And I went through his windshield.
Wow. That's crazy.
I went through his windshield.
And
hear me out. There's people I can call right now that can confirm it. I went through his windshield. Now, windshields, if you know, they have plastic in it.
Yeah.
So that you can't actually completely go through. When I did the cannonball thing, my body turned in a way where just miraculously only my back was exposed.
Oh, really?
So I basically cannonballed through his windshield, but only my entire back hit it. And when it did that, the windshield became a cradle.
Oh, yeah.
Because it comes in and it became like a whatever.
Yeah.
And then when he hit the brakes, I just rolled off the hood and onto the street. Everyone came up, thought I was dead. I thought I was dead. And I'm not going to lie, Sarah, I witnessed the blackest of blacks in my entire life. I don't know. All I know is there was this when I hit that windshield, it was there was so much black.
Oh.
It was a black that I've never experienced before, and I could hear everything. I could hear myself roll off the hood. I can hear myself and feel myself get onto the ground, and then I open my eyes. And I'm sitting on the ground. People are surrounded by me. And there's not one scratch.
That's nuts.
There's not one fucking scratch.
Yeah.
What are the odds that I was that lucky enough to cannonball in such a fashion that only my back hit the windshield? And you know how the windshield is. Above and below it is metal.
Yeah.
If I would have just fell in just a slightly bit higher, I would have decapitated myself or some shit.
Oh, gosh, yeah. So you think, that's
think-
when you started kind of believing in that?
No,
Yeah.
I never believed it then. No. And then recently, the quantum immortality thing started becoming a thing. And I started reading up on it. And now I'm just like, is that what happened?
That's interesting.
It's crazy, right?
I mean, it's kind of a little comforting to know that maybe you won't experience your own death. That is kind of interesting.
The idea is if you're in front of that machine,
Yeah.
if you could build that machine,
Yeah.
the idea is the person that sits in front of that machine will forever hear a click.
No.
And then what happens is that your conscious mind will realize you're immortal, and you will be immortal.
Oh.
Fuck.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Isn't that crazy? Huh. Because the idea is that if you sit in front of that machine, that limits the universe's options into only two options.
Yeah.
And you sit in front of that thing, and forever you're hitting a click.
Oh, the thing is,
And then I guess the idea is that all your conscious minds from all the universes will link.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I've had dreams where I've had situations like I had a dream recently where I was myself. I still had the same partner, but my partner at one point looks at me and holds me. He's like, "You're not the you I know. I want you to remember this me. I want you to remember me." Like it was like basically.
Was he on? What was he on?
No, it wasn't. He wasn't on anything. This was in a dream I had.
And he said, "What did he say?"
He said, "You aren't the. I can tell you're not the Sarah that I usually see.
Oh.
I need you to remember me right now." And that's all he said. That's like the only part of the dream I can remember was that part he made me promise to remember. And I don't know what that was. Sometimes I slip into other things that were. It feels very real, and so I'm not sure if it's a hallucination or actually jumping into a different thing. But it is. It's
I don't know.
hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
I mean, even the idea of I woke up today and I have this entire past.
Yeah.
Right? Who's to say that this isn't the first day that I woke up?
Yeah.
That my entire memories are just a fucking construct.
Oh man. Then you get into crazy stuff and then like
You know?
yeah.
I don't know. All I know is fucking going through that windshield.
Yeah.
And then just coming out complete. The only scratch I literally had was like a piece of the windshield, like just was like on my elbow.
Yeah.
And it was just like that was a nothing.
I'm glad that you were at least thankful, but I'm glad you weren't like you didn't become like the 18-year-olds who's like, "Oh, I can live through anything. I'm going to do shit again."
No, fuck
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I was never like that.
Yeah, good.
No. I'm not a daredevil.
Yeah.
But in front of the school, I was a badass. Do you have any idea? Do you know what happened? I went to class and then because everybody likes to blow shit out of proportion.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And then the rumor was now in school is that Eshaq tackled the car.
Yeah.
Because it looked like that to them.
Yeah, that's funny.
Because it looked like I was like a football player, like a running back.
Oh, yeah.
Because
yeah,
I'm like in cannonball.
Yeah.
Fucking just.
You're
how lucky was I?
very lucky. Extremely lucky. That's insane. Yeah, I haven't had any that close of a near-death experience ever. No, I mean, I have.
Any major falls?
No, oh, actually, I did have a cataplexy once. That's where you fall down. I was walking with my ex across in Chicago on North Avenue, heading towards the beach. You had to cross by the highway, Lakeshore Drive, and I had one in the middle of the street while walking. And he was there to catch me.
Oh, you passed out.
Yeah, I had a cataplexy. So
what is it called?
It's called a cataplexy.
Cataplexy.
It's where it happens as sudden surprise. If you're suddenly surprised or shocked, or if you're very emotional,
You turn into a cat.
and then you kind of like it. No, I know. that would be a very different superpower. That would be
That'd
fun.
be so fucking cool. I'd hang out with you all the time.
Be like, let me scare Sarah. Then she'll be a cat.
like,
Like,
guys,
let's just fuck
watch
with
this.
her.
I need to get my reels up. Cataplasty.
Oh my god.
Boo! Meow!
But I was crossing the street and it happened right then, and so he was thankfully there to like catch me and like the cars went around him. But if he wasn't there and I had that, then that could have been very dangerous. You know, so there are situations like that.
It could have been dangerous because you. I mean, imagine if it happens like in a way where you could fall down something that's really far.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like it only
Get
happens.
off birth control and get on Provigil, girl.
I take the medicine at night.
Fuck your pussy, man.
It's
Do you sleep good?
I take medicine that tricks my brain into thinking I'm sleeping good because I will never like I go straight to REM usually, so I take a medicine at night.
Is that good though?
It's I mean, yeah, but the thing is REM is not. It's really cool because I could take a nap and have dreams that last for hours, but you're never going to restful sleep. Restful sleep is after REM. So if spending most of my time in REM, it's complicated.
Oh, so restful sleep is after REM.
Yeah, because REM,
that's the restorative sleep.
REM, your brain is not stopping. Your brain is like continually going and like it's nonstop. So that's kind of the difference there.
Interesting.
But like I've had a couple, mostly nothing too other dangerous wise in terms of sleep. Like it never happens when I'm sitting down, so I've never had a cataplexy while driving. But I can still get tired driving, which is why I put the limits. But anyways, we are starting to wind down the podcast, and I always ask people near the end of the podcast what your dreams are for the future. You can take that question any way you like.
Ugh. I hate talking about my dreams because I feel like talking about them will keep me from doing them.
Oh, so you're like anti-manifest then. Some people think saying them out loud makes them come into the universe and come to fruition, like manifesting.
I mean, I'll do that in my heart. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I'll put it out there on paper, my affirmations and stuff. But like, I believe like in mental masturbation, and I think that like sometimes you can get caught up talking about what you're going to do. Mm-hmm. And then your brain gets the dopamine hit like it actually did it.
Oh.
And then it satiates you from fucking doing it. Because there's a lot of people that do that. I noticed that. I just said this on another podcast. Like I back in Detroit when I was coming up doing comedy and sketches, me and my writing partner, were Mike McGettigan, we were like prolific. We were fucking producing shows, writing constantly, creating videos nonstop. And then I realized something, and I was like, dude, you ever realize me and you never talk about what we're gonna do? Mm-hmm. The only time we talk about it is when we go, this is what we're gonna do, and then we do it.
Yeah.
And then I started looking at the other example of other people in our community where every time you're around them, they just keep talking about what it is they need to do. Man, I need to get my Instagram numbers up.
Okay.
You know what, man? I gotta figure out how to do. You know what, man? I'm gonna get it up. You know what, dude? I'm gonna do this. You know what, man? I'm gonna make the best fucking movie. And then you keep telling people, you know what? I got this movie idea, and then I think your brain gets the fucking dopamine hit, like it's actually happening.
That's really interesting. I think that when I when I say things that I'm gonna do, it's almost me holding myself accountable through that person. So if I say, hey, I'm going to relaunch or I'm going to do this thing, it's like by telling people, for me, it's like almost an accountability.
Okay, but how often are you saying it before you do it?
Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I guess I'm someone who actually, if I say something, I do it. So I think that's different.
You go. So that's different.
Yeah.
That I can understand if you're going to be like, if you do this. I'm going to start a podcast, Eshaq. I would love, when I get it started, I'm going to have you, I can't wait to have you on, right?
Yeah.
And then like that day or the next day, you're starting it.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's different.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're already a doer, speaking it out into existence and like feeling that, or like having somebody that you can be like, this is what I'm going to do. And you associate that person with, this is who I say things to that I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's different.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm talking about like you didn't start the podcast.
Oh, the people that just
and then
talk.
Every time you talk to somebody who started a podcast, you keep going, yeah, you know what? I'm going to start my podcast, and I got it. And then you're not doing it.
And those are the people that aren't really doing. Yeah.
And I think those people, and I think you do get it. That's what they call mental masturbation. You're like, you're just masturbating your brain. It's coming, but you didn't really do anything.
That's
it's kind of like jerking off, you know?
Yeah. It's not really doing much.
You're not really doing it.
Yeah. Well, then I respect and understand if you don't want to say it out loud, the things that you're doing.
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, like, it's very hard for me to like, because I don't like think about like that shit. I guess right now my short-term dream, and I'm not gonna lie, all right, this is one thing that I really want. Mm-hmm. I want to be able to build enough of an audience that I can have enough money to take my friends on the road with me.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm talking about like making enough in stand-up to where I'm like, yo, I'm going to bring you out, and I got the room, I got the plane,
yes.
That's my dream. That's my short-term dream right there.
That. That's
of course,
great.
I got bigger dreams, like getting on Netflix and all that fucking shit. But my short-term dream that really makes me fucking like happy because it seems like it's getting closer.
Yeah.
That I can start doing that. That's gonna be fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that dream. That's a great
like
one.
when I see Theo Vaughn and he's able to take a tour bus and he's got all his friends. You could tell he's just bringing people out because he wants to bring them out and he enjoys it. That's everything.
Yeah, I love that. Well, I love that dream for you. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for doing the podcast, Mike.
Thank you, Sarah.
And we always end by saying good night. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Mike Eshaq. Mike has a lot of upcoming tour dates. Be sure to check them out on his website, mikefromdetroit.com. That is also all of his social media profiles at Mike from Detroit on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter /X, all the things. Be sure to follow him. If you like the podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe. Follow at Sleeping with Sarah on TikTok and YouTube, and at Sleeping with Sarah Pod on Instagram. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. Big shout out to Wolf Ramirez and the team at Jam in the Van. Please follow at Jam in the Van and check out their other podcasts. I'll be releasing a new podcast each week, so tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. If you want to find out more about me, go to sleepysarah.com or follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Sarah Albritton and TikTok at Sarah Albritton Comedy. Until next time, good night.